Welcome, Summoners, back to the Total Alliance channel, your source for MCOC Alliance tips, tricks, and more. This is Eric1701. In a previous video, we talked about what alliances look for when they are recruiting potential alliance members. So we went over everything that they might be looking for. Today, we're going to go over the opposite. What do you need to look for when you're looking to join an alliance? So let's get right into it. So like I said, today we're going to talk about those things that you should be thinking about and looking for in a prospective alliance. And so to start it off, let's talk about the very first thing and maybe the most important thing that you should consider when looking for an alliance. And that is, how much time is it going to take for you to be in the alliance? Do you really have enough time to be in an alliance? And so you may not know anything about alliances, and if so, then that's great. Let's talk about some of the responsibilities that you're going to take on as an alliance member. And I kid you not, there are responsibilities. When you join an alliance, you're joining a team. And as a part of a team, you're expected to uphold some responsibilities and that you to fulfill those responsibilities. Now, I'm going to talk about some really general responsibilities that seem to be across all alliances. Now, of course, each alliance is going to differ just a little bit, but I think these are the basic ones. So the first thing that you're going to be expected to do is participate in a mode of gameplay called alliance questing. And so this is a team project where up to 10 people come together and you travel through a map. And to get the job done, it takes more than just you, unlike solo questing. And so this happens on a rotation, on a schedule. And what happens is they give you 24 hours. So from the time the alliance quest is started, you have 24 hours to finish the alliance quest, to get as much done as possible. In doing so, you rack up points, and those points then are tallied up at the end of the 5-day rotation, and the alliance is rewarded on a participant level. So all of the points from everybody's participation is all added up, and then you are awarded points for all the participants based on the total. So again, this is a team thing, so everybody needs to participate that can and get all the kills you can. So without delving too much more into what Alliance Quest is about, that is going to take some time. And so Alliance Quest happens on 5 days on and then 3 days off. So every day for 5 days there'll be an Alliance Quest, and assuming that your officers start the Alliance Quest right on time, you have 24 hours from that moment to complete it. And then the last day it ends, and then an hour, 2, 3 later, those what I call rotation awards are dropped for the rewards. And so again, it's 5 on and 3 off, and it takes a lot of participation. And so for those 5 days, your alliance is going to expect you to log in at least several times a day, use your energy, advance, and take down the opposition. So that's a commitment. You need to think about that. The second mode of play inside of the alliance structure is what's called Alliance War. And in this one, it's much like Alliance Quest in that you're tackling a map that has foes, if you will, on it, and you travel through that map during the allotted 24 hours of attack mode, and you attempt to take down your foes and garner as many points as you can. The difference is Alliance Quest, you're playing against basically a fixed map with known foes. If you learn the rotation that happens, it's the same. But Alliance War is against other alliances, and so they're going to try to pit their best defense against your offense, and you're going to do the same. So you're going to be playing against a defense that they have set, and they're going to be playing against the defense that you have set. And so this one's a little more intense than Alliance Quest. It generally requires a greater commitment of time during that 24 hours. Often you need to log in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times a day because generally those maps are linked up a little tighter, and we'll talk about that later. But other Alliance members are relying on you to take down those links so that they can take down the foes that are in front of them. So think about that time commitment. And then the final mode of play, in the major mode of play inside alliances, is
alliance events.
Let's look here, just in case you don't know
what an alliance event is.
We can go here and look, and you'll see right down here in the corner is the little check mark with the thing. If you tap on that, if you haven't joined an alliance, this one will be grayed out. If you have, it's there. And if you notice that this is all the solo events that are running at the moment, but here are the alliance events. And so much like solo events, you want to contribute toward these. So right now we've got a 1-day item use and a 3-day item use going in summoner advancement, and these things are total of the team. So everybody uses items. It all goes into that point pool, and at the end of the event, things are tallied up, the numbers are tallied up, and you get rewards. So it's important that you participate in that and that you be aware of when these events are going to be running. So some alliances don't have what they call event minimums, and so you're free to do as you will. And other alliances absolutely have event minimums. So if their event minimum is, say, summoner advancement, 6,000 points, that means every rotation of summoner advancement, which generally runs 7 days. So every 7 days, a new rotation of summoner advancement starts, and you're expected to contribute 6,000 points. And that can be a little pressure on you each week to make sure that you have enough resources to level up your characters in a steady manner. Same thing with 3-day item use. Now, luckily, item use doesn't roll around every 3 days, but twice, maybe 3 times a month it rolls around. You may be expected inside of your alliance to contribute X amount of points towards item use. And if so, there are strategies that we can talk about in another video that many players use on how to boost that 3-day item use up. So anyway, the 3 things are AQ, Alliance Questing, Alliance Wars, and then Alliance Events. And so it's really important before you join that alliance that you consider, do you have time to play in such a dedicated manner that you can join Alliance Quest? Look, everybody has commitments outside of a game. You have real life commitments. Most of us are either in full-time school or we have full-time jobs. And so we have to figure out how to work around that if we're going to be of a member alliance. Because remember, you are a member, I'm a member of a team, and they count on me to uphold my end of the team so that we can all advance together. So that's really important that you consider that. So the second thing that we're going to talk about is, how do you find an alliance? So you've decided you have enough time and you've worked on your account and you're ready to join an alliance. So there are several ways. The first way is definitely not a way that I recommend. And if you go to this tab right here, obviously that says Alliance, and you just tap on it. If you're not a member of Alliance, if you are not a member of an alliance, a lot of this won't be here. But over here on this side, in this area, you will see something that says Join Alliance. And you can tap that, and from there you have a choice to either look through alliances or to auto join. And this is what I don't recommend. Don't auto join an alliance. It seems easy, and it is easy. You tap it and bam, you're a member of an alliance. But I'm guarantee you're not going to be an alliance that will further you. So don't do that. Go looking for an alliance that's right for you. But you can look for alliances up here on my screen. Yours may be a little different if you're not in an alliance, but up here you'll see the magnifying glass. You can just go there and then we all see the same thing. If you're not in an alliance, it'll let you look through recommended alliances and you can just kind of scan down through there. The other way to do it, to find an alliance, is via Reddit. So you can use Reddit and you can go to their recruitment subreddit and you can post your needs for an alliance, and generally it is monitored by recruiters and you can look at that. You can also, there are some bots inside of the Line app that will where recruiters hang out, and you can post what you're looking for, and recruiters will PM you and you can talk to them that way. And then the final way is via the MCOC forums. Well, not the final way, but the next way is through MCOC forums. You can go there. There is a topic room that is about alliance recruitment, and you can go in there and basically do the same thing. There's also Discord, which is another app you can get for your phone or your computer, and you can go to the Discord server that is for Alliance MCOC, and then you can go to the Alliance area of that Discord server and same thing. So something that I'll warn you about, all of these have in common is each one of these methods has its own rules. And so you need to make sure that you understand the rules before you utilize the forum, that particular forum, to find an alliance, because many of them are very specific about how they want you to go about looking for an alliance. Maybe specific information that needs to be posted, and you will get banned from a forum if you do not follow the rules. So just make sure you understand the rules before you engage. Maybe jump in, sit back, and watch what's going on. That's what I would suggest, so that you just avoid that hassle of getting banned and having to get unbanned. So the first one is consider your time. The second one is how do I find an alliance, and we talked about that. And the third one is, once I start the recruiting process or the recruitment process, what is it that I should be looking for now in an alliance? So let's talk about that. So for the sake of ease here, we're in one of my alternate accounts. So let's go here and we're going to look at one of my, let's see, where is my main account? My main account, there it is. All right, so here's my main account right here. And if you're on this screen through the social and the contacts, you can just tap the profile picture of the person that you want to see their profile. There it is. And then you can just tap view profile. And here is that profile. So, and from there you can tap go to alliance, and it'll go to their alliance, and now you can see what's going on with that person's alliance. So sometimes it's a lot easier to find an alliance through somebody's in-game name than it is through the alliance name. That's been my experience anyway. So from here we can see a couple of things. The first one is we can see the general rating of the alliance, how they finished last season. And then here is a short description of their alliance, the way they see it. So in this particular alliance, we're telling people that we're very active and friendly. We focus on AW and AQ, must contribute to alliance events. Even though there's no minimums, we do tell you that we're watching, and if you don't contribute, we're going to say something. And you must communicate via the Line app. Now that is very important for a lot of serious alliances. Now they may not use the Line app. There's other communication methods. So make sure you read that and understand what their requirements are. So if they require that you be a member of their Discord server, just remember that that's going to be, you're going to have to set that up. If it's Line or Clan HQ or however you're going to communicate, just be aware that if it's a requirement, you're going to have to do it. So if you try to install Line on your phone and it says unable to install it, you need to figure out why, because they're not going to say, oh, well, it won't let you install it. Most alliances are going to say, well, then we're just going to have to move on. So figure it out and get it installed. The last one on this one, it tells us who to contact. So if you are looking through alliances and you find one that's interesting to you, then if it has a contact there, in this case it's Line, you can just go to Line and add a friend, and there it is. So that's the first thing we're going to look at. Is we're just going to take a quick look at that little overview that is there. This is how many members are in the alliance. So obviously all alliances have a maximum capacity of 30, and this tells you how many people are in the alliance. And then by request means that you can't just join it. You have to, if I wasn't in the alliance, there would be a button there that says request, and it would send a request. Now you're going to have to wait till an officer or the leader logs in before that request can be either accepted or denied. But once it's accepted, you're auto added to it, so you don't have to respond at that point. It just adds you to the alliance. But at any rate, if it's an open alliance, if it says open, then, which is actually what this one is supposed to say, if it says, oh, sorry, wrong one. If it says open, then you can just join it. You'll immediately be joined. If it says closed, or is it closed? Yeah, if it says closed, then obviously it's closed. So the next thing we're going to look at is go here and tap on members. Okay, and you're going to want to take a close look at this because these things are important. So the top one is the leader, so he's the owner of the alliance. And then down here are the officers, and then underneath the officers are all the members. But let's jump back up here. So the first thing you want to look at is this right here. We, at the moment that I'm doing this, we are in between Alliance Quest rotations, and though we have a war that just started, we are in between seasons of Alliance War, and this particular person, the leader, did not place in this Alliance War. So that's why you see he hasn't logged on in 20 hours, because it's in between seasons. And so, like a lot of alliances, we're much more lenient when we're in between war seasons, with people taking off and doing things like that. Great time for a vacation. So that's where what's going on there. But that's, number is important. If you look at the alliance and the leader hasn't logged in 5 days, you need to move on. So look at that. Also go through and look at all of it, the login times for everybody in the alliance, because it's very telling. So let's scroll through this real quick and look very briefly at all this. So you'll see here more. All right, so there you are. So everybody in the alliance is very active, and if this were an active AQ rotation, or if we were in the war season, then those numbers would probably look a lot different. But look, if you see several members that have not logged in days, I would move on. If you see officers that haven't logged in days, move on, and because they're showing you that they're very lenient with that stuff. And trust me, you cannot advance quickly if the people in the alliance aren't participating in all of the things we've talked about: quest, war, and alliance events. So keep that in mind. So that's what you're looking for. You're also looking for the distribution of levels and ratings. So look through there and make sure that there's at least a couple in there that are around your level or your rating. Because getting into an alliance where you are the lowest one, and more important than the lowest one is that you're the lowest by a long shot, is not a good situation, because you're going to jump into alliance war and it's going to be scary. You don't want to be in an unbalanced alliance where you're the unbalanced. So just keep that in mind. You will not be happy with it in most cases. So just look for somewhere you can fit in comfortably. So you'll see here that this particular alliance, the New World Order, we have some heavy hitting accounts, you'll see, and then we have some lower accounts down here, and that's because we enjoy helping people grow. It's fun and keeps us connected to what's going on. So that's kind of where we are on that. But so those are the important things that I would tell you to look for in alliance. Now there may be others, so when you chat with somebody in line, when you're being recruited and you're chatting with an officer, ask them questions. What happens if I'm going on vacation for a weekend? How do you handle that? And make sure that you get an answer, because there are some alliances that say, no, we're going to kick you. Well, isn't it better to know that up front than it is to invest your time and effort getting to know people only to find out 3 months later that they have no compassion about family emergencies or things like that? So, again, we all have lives, and we need to make sure that the people we're playing with are understanding of that. So do that. Also figure out how active people are inside the chats. Some alliances are very chatty, and some of them don't do any communication except exactly what's required for AQ and war movement. So just, figure out, because if you're not the chatty type and don't like to participate in that, then that can be a point of contention with a group that is otherwise very chatty. They'll feel like you're not participating in the alliance. So feel free to ask questions. Most officers will answer any question because they want to weed players out just as much as you want to weed alliances out that aren't a good fit, aren't a good match. So again, this was a video. We've been talking about what you should look for in alliance. You should consider, a recap. You should consider how much time do you have the time to put into alliance. Then we talked about how to find an alliance using Reddit, MCOC forums, line rooms, Discord servers, etc. And then finally, we talked about some specific things that you should look for when you're searching for an alliance. And we did that. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you'll leave a like. And if you're not a subscriber, I'd ask you to subscribe and hit that bell for the notifications for new posts. And comment below if you agree with or don't agree with, then let me know. Let me know what I missed, what I can add next time I do a video like this. Comments are welcome, and whether it's my channel or any YouTube channel, comments are very important to the YouTube algorithm. So leave comments, say hey, all that jazz. So until next time, the next video, may the RNG be with you, as some people say. See you later.